a break. What a heap of bullshit. Someone's fiddling the till and it's not coming through to us. Such a beautiful country. We don't tell it we love it for some unknown reason. You run into a Yank anywhere in Australia, they'll tell you how beautiful their country is. And their country's a shit heap compared to ours. Had this Yank backpacker tap me on the shoulder in Bunbury only a week and a half ago and he said, "Hey buddy." I said, "Are you talking to me, arsewipe?" He said, "Where's the best place to get a girl around here?" I said, "On the end of your dick."
You wouldn't have said that.
I said that. And he said, "What's an old bloke like you do for a crust?" I said, "I'll leave Mondays on for 3 weeks, mate. Piss off."
I bet you never said that.
I said that. I said, and they do give me the shits, mate. And if there's any Kiwis in here tonight, they'll back up what I'm going to tell you next. I've got to tell you now. New Zealand, they sold Telstra, and what the equivalent of Telstra in New Zealand, their telecom in New Zealand, some 3 years ago now. When you ring up the equivalent of 013 in New Zealand, you get an American voice telling you what your bloody number is. Now, I don't know what you people want for your kids, but I don't want that for my kids, mate. I want my kids growing up being Aussie, talking Aussie and doing Aussie. I think America's a great country as long as it stays there. The minute it gets in my backyard, I get the shits, mate, I tell you. And that's why Hillary Clinton lies on top when they're having sex, is because Bill can only fuck up. The show's starting.
When I was young and the stories were told, my dad looked at me with a grin. He said, "Now son, you'll get it all when my time has come to an end. It's been a hard slog, so get on with the job, and it'll never fail ya. So don't let it fall. Go tell him all. Let's get fair income Australia." That's the chorus line. I'd like you to say, "Let's get fair income Australia." Okay? Okay? Get on one side, mate. Life was a breeze, nobody said boo when I was a cool 23. But knowing my place, I had to embrace this legacy given to me. It's been a hard slog, so get on with the job, and it'll never fail ya. So don't let it fall. Go tell him all. Let's get fair income Australia. Well, it's time to take a fair stand. Let's do it all hand in hand. So just put your hand up and say, "Come on, that I am Australia." As I grow up, I love it so much, so proud of the green and the gold. Now I know why we all have to try before this country gets sold. Well, it's been a hard slog, so get on with the job, and it'll never fail you. So don't let it fall. Go tell them all. Let's get fair income Australia. Don't let it fall. Go tell them all to get fair income Australia. Don't let it fall. Go tell them all to get fair income Australia. Australia. Australia.
Probably the truth at this stage of the evening, we've probably offended a few pommies. Any pommies out there tonight?
Going to put their hands up now.
No, they did. Look at this. I can't believe them.
Goodness me.
Jesus, they're dickheads. Didn't their ancestors screw up? Sent them out. They sent us out to this beautiful country for punishment, and they stayed there. Can you imagine the face on the first convict as he's come around the heads at Sydney Harbour? It's midsummer. He looks out the porthole and thinks to himself, "Shit, this is going to be tough." First month has been a bit rugged. He's got a ball and chain behind him, but he's been a model prisoner, so they give him some work to release. They sent him down to Bondi to whippersnip the median strip. He gets down there, he looks out the back, the waves are curled and in at 6.5 feet. He can't help himself. He cuts a red gum to the ground, shaves a 14'6" Malibu out of it, and he's out the back. First wave he catches takes him 40 minutes to hit the beach. He jumps off the board, runs up the sand, picks a pen and a bit of paper up, and writes back to his best mate in London and said, "Steal some fucking bread." Because it's a good country. Is that correct or not? Talk to me. Is it good? And I get into so much trouble as I go around this country. It's supposed to be a democracy, but you get into trouble for saying what you think. That can't be fair. We got into so much trouble just before we left Brisbane. We were working the Gathorne RSL. And this bloke in the audience yelled out, "What do you think about the flag?" And I thought, you bastard. Fancy asking me a question like that in an RSL, mate. I thought, I'm going to get in a lot of strife here. And I said, "Mate," I said, "I'll tell you something now." I said, "I love this country more than I love the flag." I said, "I stand and salute the flag we got today, but if they changed the flag and made it a new one tomorrow, I'd stand and salute that as well." And I could see the spittle in the corner of his mouth. And I said, "Last Commonwealth Games, Cathy Freeman ran around the oval with an Aboriginal flag on one shoulder, an Australian flag on the other. The first people to arc up were the RSL. I said, "You got a flag?" And I said, "There's no Union Jack on it." Well, I see the veins in the side of his neck. And I'm thinking, shit, I am backing myself into a bad corner here. I said, and it was day 8 before the Pommies finally won a gold medal. I said, when they finally raised their flag, it was a white flag with a red cross on it. And I'm thinking, shit, someone's knocked the Union Jack off theirs. And this bloke stood up and he said, "How dare you talk about the flag like that?" He said, "My uncle died for that flag." I said, "Well, that was pretty fucking stupid. He could have bought one for $8.50. And they gave me the RSL farewell. Stuck a kangaroo bone up my arse and let the dogs loose. But you can still say what you want to say in a democracy. Is that correct or not? Jesus, I run around this country these days and hear people yelling out, "Bring back conscription. It'll solve some of our problems." But the only ones yelling about it are the ones that didn't do it. Spend 2 years of your life with a calendar behind your bed crossing your days off. Wasn't a fun experience. 1968, they put me on a bus at Marrickville in Sydney and bused me to a little place in New South Wales called Singleton. Got me off the bus at 1 o'clock in the morning and shaved my head. Gave me a lot of green clothes, a pair of black boots and a gun and said, "Go to sleep." And you're not going to believe what I'm going to tell you next. It was 6 o'clock the next morning, there's some idiot playing a trumpet. I got up out of bed in my jammies, wandered outside, put my hands over my eyes and started screaming. And this sergeant come running over, he said, "What's the matter with you, lad?" I said, "Sir," I said, "the world's coming to an end." He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "The sun's on the wrong side." And he just looked at me and grinned and said, "We're going to have a lot of fun with you, boy." And they did. They used to march across a paddock for 3/4 of a mile to see a movie called Zulu to psych you up so you could kill people. Then you'd walk out in the street in your Australian uniform and your fellow Australian would spit on you and call you a fascist. Still a hard monkey to get off your shoulder. I look back at the good times in this beautiful country of ours. I got such a fright at 20 years of age being in the army. I've been in the army 3 days. 400 of us out in a parade ground. A bloke called a sergeant yelling at us, screaming. And some bloke in the ranks called him a vagina. Well, he didn't actually call him a vagina, but I can't say that other word. And this sergeant went berserk. He said, "Right," he said, "who called me a vagina?" And we all shut up. Because this was 1968. We didn't know how to dob then. He had us out in the parade ground every hour for half an hour, with the pack getting heavier. 11:30 that night, we're going to kill the bloke that said it. Not going to dob on him, just kill it when it's finished. And this sergeant screamed out. He said, "Right." He said, "Who's the bloke that thinks I'm a vagina?" And I took a big step forward and I said, "You want the bloke that thinks it or the bloke that said it?" And I knew from that turn in life that I had a problem. I did. They did a little number for you now. It's a number called Born Again Australian. And this happened to us in 1995, the centenary of the writing of Waltzing Matilda by Banjo Patterson. But I'll do this little number for you now to fire you up just a little bit more. Come along on a trip with me. I'm a Born Again Australian. Anyone else? I'm a born-again Australian, got true blue to thank for that. He finally made me realise just where my heart was at. My blue suede shoes are growing, cobwebs in the shed, and I'm telling you I'm true blue too, and I will be till I'm dead. Well, our diggers fought and died to keep us free and save our heritage for you and me. 'Cause we got famous places and faces of our own. Why sing of Baton Rouge and San Antone? I'm a born-again Australian, got true blue to thank for that. He finally made me realise just where my heart was at. My blue suede shoes are growing, cobwebs in the shed, but I'm telling you I'm true blue too, and I will be till I'm dead. They all try and sound like Johnny Cash. They gave it their best shot and had a lash. In hindsight now their actions seem quite rash, 'cause old Johnny got the assets and they just got the ass. I'm not saying you should sound like Slim. Just be yourself, there's only one of him. So sing it like an Aussie, let your own accent come through. You get no thanks from septic tanks for sounding like they do. Come on, come on. I'm a born-again Australian, got true blue to thank for that. He finally made me realise just where my heart is at. My blue suede shoes are growing, cobwebs in the shed. I'm telling you I'm true blue too, and I will be till I'm dead. At night I sit and look at the Southern Cross and worry about this land we've almost lost. Now blokes like Hogan showed them we can do it good as them. So come on mate, let's celebrate, let's all get born again. Call me jingoistic if you like. From now on mate, I'll pedal my own bike. Alright. When all those little points are tallied up, it's the ones that lead, not follow, that wind up at the top. Come along with me. I'm a born-again Australian, got true blue to thank for that. He finally made me realise just where my heart was at. My blue suede shoes are growing, cobwebs in the shed. I'm telling you I'm true blue too, and I will be till I'm dead. One more time. I'm a born-again Australian, got true blue to thank for that. He finally made me realise just where my heart was at. My blue suede shoes are growing, cobwebs in the shed. I'm telling you I'm true blue too, and I will be till I'm dead. And I'm telling you I'm true blue too, and I will be till I'm dead.
Put it there, mate, put it there. Not the stubby, put
No chance you're getting the stubby, mate. Just loving this bit about
stuff.
sucking the guts out of tinnies.
No, mate.
Just,
I love it when you do that song, mate. It's a beauty.
I like that song. It's a little song written for us by a great little Brisbane boy. And we appreciate it very much that people actually write songs for us. So if any of you out there have got songs in your back pocket, if you'd like to leave them with us, we'll kind of get out there, make a quid out of them. Won't send you anything, but...
Like 2.5% guaranteed.
But it's the truth, mate. I just love being an Aussie. And we get caned for it so many times for just being Aussies. So much bullshit. Jesus, they're making changes on us every day out there and we're supposed to cop it. And no, Aussies don't arc up anymore. Each and every one of us not liking the changes out there, but what are we doing? Bending over, holding on to the iron bar. So don't worry about the KY, I'm enjoying the pain. Well, it's not gross, it's the truth. It's a bloody truth. When Jesus, they caught one of the chief executives of Coles Myers nicking $5 million and they still check your bag at the fucking checkout. You know how big a bag you'd have to get to $5 million to get in there? This is bullshit. A lot of things I like doing, mate, I've got to tell you as an Aussie. Always want to be strong enough as an Aussie to be standing in a bar sucking on a tinny, and when a girl wanders in and says, hey, how about a root? Always want to be strong enough to go, oh, fuck off.
Never quite made it, eh?
Mate, no. But that was in the good old days kind of thing. I'm not like that now. I'm a born-again Australian now. I changed a lot. You have a family, mate. You have a family that changes every minute of your life. I've got kids now, 7 and 5 years of age. And I can remember it just goes so quickly. So much of your life goes out the window too quickly. Remember when they were born? I was there, mate. I was there, mate, at the birth. And that's a big change.